Friday, we will be choosing the course of our high school careers, or just the next year. We will be able to choose between becoming an AP diploma candidate, an IB diploma candidate, or choosing to take a mix of two and graduating with a St. John's diploma. AP stands for Advanced Placement, and IB stands for International Baccalaureate. By taking AP or IB courses, we will be showing our prospective colleges and universities that are willing to take a challenge of rigorous courses.
AP courses do a variety of things. First of all, there's twofold. I think we should focus first on what the school wants the AP courses to mean for us, and that is that they will prepare you for college level work. The AP curriculum is designed to replicate college level work. And so if you're able to do college level work at the high school level, then you're introduced to it, then when you arrive in college it won't be so bad. That is the main reason that we pursue the AP courses here. In addition, the courses, depending on how well you do on the exams, can earn you college credit, which in theory could save you money and or time when you get to the university level. Well, the IB courses would be largely the same. The answer would be largely the same. The AP and the IB programs kind of attempt to do the same thing, which is, again, introduce high school level students to university level work. The one element of the IB program that's different would be the international level of it. The AP is a program that's designed in the United States for students who are in the United States. The IB program is more of a worldwide curriculum, and as teachers, we are required to introduce non-American topics into all of our classes. Well, this is one of the more fascinating things you start looking at. The AP courses are designed to take one academic year, whereas most of the IB classes are designed to take 2 academic years. That would be one difference. There's a lot more emphasis on writing in the IB program. All of the classes you'll be writing in-class assignments, so you have that element as well. And then, as mentioned before, you have the International Baccalaureate program has a lot more of a focus, an international focus. AP testing is, grueling. Is probably the word that comes to mind the most often. It's usually a 3-hour exam. You'll have a 3-hour exam. The first hour and a half of it will be a multiple choice section, where there will be just, again, choose one of 5 answers, and so you do that. And then the second half of the exam is something they call free response, where essentially it's essay questions or data response questions, or something where you'll be doing some writing on your own. How do you prepare for it? Well, your AP instructor should be having practice exams or practice portions of exams, depending on how how it's delivered. The one thing I would like to make, the point I would like to make on this is that any AP program in any high school, the student is expected to do work outside of class that the teacher doesn't assign. That's one of the things that there's no way that any teacher can put enough into the classroom experience that's really going to help you succeed greatly. One of the things that the IB program wants to stress is this topic called depth. So they really want to take an opportunity to expose you to material and be able to analyze it from a variety of standpoints. So you'll take a U.S. military action in Venezuela, and you'll take a look at it from the U.S. perspective, from the Venezuelan perspective, and from a third-party perspective as well. And that just takes more time to develop those. First, there's benefits that are just amazingly far-reaching that people never even think about. And from a very practical perspective, time management, you're going to have a lot more emphasis on what needs to get done, how you can get it done, the time frame that you need to get it done. I'm going to use a perhaps not the greatest analogy here that might scare some kids away. How do you suppose climbing Mount Everest might change your life? You have this major accomplishment that you've been preparing for 3 or 4 years, and you finally do it. And it is a major accomplishment that not many people in the world have ever done. And how do you suppose that might change you? And the answer is really the same for the IB program. Again, you've been preparing for this IB program throughout your entire high school years, so 4 years. And the culmination of these events really will be the testing period in your senior year. The completion of that is, again, one of the most, I don't even know what the word would be, but the most fulfilling elements of hey, I have attempted something that not many people do, and I have achieved it. And it'd be interesting to note the number of IB diploma recipients versus the number of people who climb Mount Everest. I don't know. I don't know what that would be. But again, if you start looking at the percentages in the world, the number of people who graduate from high school is incredibly small. And then the fact that they would have this IB international diploma, this IB diploma, would be just an amazing accomplishment. And so there are thousands of others that we don't have time to go into. The AP diploma is an interesting new product that's not really designed for students at our school. The AP diploma is designed for students who attend high school in the United States and want to attend university outside the United States, or the opposite. They attend university outside the United States and want to attend a university inside the United States. But for the vast majority of our students, that's not the case. The vast majority of our students attend high school in the United States here, and then go to university in the United States. In fact, you won't even be given the AP International Diploma unless you send AP scores to a university that's not in the United States. I say for the vast majority of our students, that's not really an issue. The AP International Diploma only requires 5 classes, not 6. They don't require an extended essay. There's no service requirement, so there are kinds of other elements there that would come into play. Well, as I just alluded to, the IB diploma would be more rigorous because of the extended essay requirement, a 4,000-page paper, because of the fact that you need to take an additional exam, 6 instead of 5, and the service requirement, the cash credit requirement, is 150 hours instead of our 100 for graduates. But there again, remember that the colleges, one of the college's criteria is the rigor of secondary school work. And if you are somebody who takes the IB diploma, again, there is no doubt that you are taking the most challenging academic coursework that you can take.
IB is about deep thinking and deep learning, and so they're not trying to cover lots of things in a short amount of time. They're trying to cover things deeply and in great depth, so that you know the skills and you know the material that you're taught. The higher level courses are 2 years, but the standard level, for the most part, especially for the electives, are only 1 year. IBS English is 2 years, because really it's a lot of material to cover in one. So we try to space it out. What are the merits of the IB courses? Well, one of the things is I think you should look at the IB as part of a curriculum rather than separate courses. AP are separate courses, but the IB is a whole curriculum. IB tests are different depending on each subject. So for instance, in IB English, the actual test that people take in May consists of 2 parts. The first part is commenting on an unseen passage or on a poem. So students will receive the test packet, and they will choose either a prose piece or a poem on which to comment. That's the first paper that they write. The second paper that they write is basically they'll choose questions based on topics, and they will use works that we have read in their last semester of their senior year. They will use those works to answer the questions. Okay, so they'll use those books to answer the questions. And the idea behind it is that the 2 years of commenting and analyzing and reading, very closely the literature that we're studying will prepare them to be able to attack a passage, or to use their skills that they've learned through the 2 years to take apart a passage and analyze it and put it back together. But the grade that they get, the IB grade that they receive, is based on the test that they take in May, but also a written assignment that they complete in their junior year, based on the works in translation, and also on 2 oral components, one of which they do in their senior year and the other which they would have done in their junior year. So the score is based on many different assessments, not just the final assessment that's done in May. And I think that's one big difference between an IB course and an AP course is the AP is the test you take at the end in May, but the IB is really a series of assessments. In math, they have the test at the end, but they also have what are known as internal assessments, these tasks that they have to perform, written tasks. Same thing for history. So there's always many more components than just the exam that they take at the end of the year. I think it makes it pushes a student to their limits because you take these classes that are very challenging and very rigorous, that demand a lot of you, not just in terms of reading, but in writing and also in oral presentation. It demands that somebody be able to be organized and to be flexible all at the same time. The whole point of the IB curriculum is to create a kind of learner who is a thinker, somebody who is principled and ethical, and somebody who enjoys learning. And the courses that you take hopefully will create that kind of person. There's the extended essay that all IB diploma candidates also have to write, and that is again a exercise in perseverance and diligence. So those kinds of things help to create a very well-rounded person, but also a person who's pushed to their limits. The CAS requirements for an IB diploma candidate are also great. So you have to do 50 hours of service, action, and 50 hours of creative work. And so again, you're forced to the limits. You're forced to do things maybe that you normally wouldn't do, and you are hopefully learning something in the process.
The difference between the IB and the AP test is kind of interesting, and one of them is that while they're both 3-hour exams, or can be 3-hour exams, the IB tests are oftentimes over 2 days. So you'll have an hour or an hour and a half test on one day, and then the next day you'll continue the test. So they are not quite as grueling for that individual time period. There are very few multiple choice questions on any IB exam anymore. In fact, I think there's only 2 or 3 courses that actually we don't offer at St. John's, but there's only 2 or 3 courses that I think have a multiple choice component at all. So it's all writing. It's essay or data response or something along those lines. But the entire test is going to be based in writing.
What courses you take will be up to you, but hopefully we have given you insight and started to get you thinking about which program you might be inclined to take on.